In every part of every living thing is stuff that once was rock. In blood, the minerals of the rock. Iron, the common element of earth. In rocks and freighters. Sault Ste. Marie, big boats, coal black and iron ore red, topped with what white castle work. The waters working together internationally. Gulls playing both sides.
Lake Superior, the first poem of Niedeker's I ever read, appears in the book North Central, a collection of poems published in 1968 during a moment of new artistic productivity and burgeoning acclaim. In November of 1970, Loreen speaks with the poet Sid Corman. Visiting from Japan, Corman brings a small cassette recorder to Black Hawk Island. In the only audio recordings that we have of her, her voice is small and delicate, almost childlike.
Wild man, you are the man, you are my other country, and I find it hard going. You are the prickly pear.
It's easy to hear how excited Loreen is by the work that she's been doing, how deeply she's looking forward to writing more.
Loreen, I notice, it seems to me that you are making more poems in these past few years than you had made before. Now, is it because you have more time now than before, or what?
Yes, well, I do have more time. But I think that now, more than ever, I think lines of poetry that I may use all day long, and even in the night. Mm. Whereas before I was taken up with so many things that that sort of thing didn't hit. And the fact that I'm 67 years old. And if I'm going to do some more, I'd better get to it.
The tape cuts off, and it's the last we hear of her. 3 weeks later, while making dinner, Loreen will turn to Al and say that she feels strange. Al will call an ambulance. Loreen will not come home. Loreen Niedeker is buried off a county road in the Union Cemetery north of Black Hawk Island. While her grave is simple and unassuming, her legacy is not. In the decades since her passing, the poems of Loreen Niedeker have steadily shaped the work of poets writing after her, opening the door for other women and for rural working-class people from outside the coastal literary centers. It's hard to overstate the effect Loreen has had on me. Growing up, poetry felt to me a matter first and foremost of internal self-expression. But when, as a graduate student, I first read Lake Superior, I found myself instead amidst the mind and music of a person looking past herself, turning to the history, industry, and geology of other places, drawing inspiration as much from outer truths as inner.
Greek named Exodus Antique, kicked up in America's Northwest. You have been in my mind, between my toes. Agate.
Like every writer, I'm indebted to the men and women who wrote before me. They are, in almost every way, my literary ancestors. Loreen Niedecker is one of them. And so, at the beginning of my tenure as Wisconsin's Poet Laureate, I set out for Lake Superior to pay tribute to this woman I had never met, gone now for over half a century, to build an altar for the poet whose words first welcomed me back home. Lake Superior feels closer to an ocean. From one shore, it isn't possible to see the other. But what you can see lives inside you until it's there forever. The water reaching forward, falling back, the shadows of distant factories, a ditch of flowers, daylight hanging on a cliff face, the glow of stone beneath the waves, the rhythmic breathing heartbeat of the lake. To be by Lake Superior is to walk beside the poet and to step into the poem. This was the world she saw and mentioned in her journals, the places she had visited and wrote about.
The smooth black stone I picked up in True Source Park. The leaf beside it once was stone. Why should we hurry home?
As I followed Loreen's path around the lake, I collected things along the way I felt she might have stopped to notice were she there. The small stones and plants and flowers I imagined would have found their way into her poems had she been with me. With these things, I built an altar on the shore. What is poetry if not an act of altar making? Of paying tribute to the people and the places that have held us. To build an altar is to form a space for others. Here in the present, from the objects that they loved. To write a poem is to build a home from things. The poems that floated in my father's voice defined the home I needed when I was young, in much the same way that Niedeker's poems and legacy do for me today. I now know and feel that I belong here. My family belongs here. We are a part of Wisconsin, and Wisconsin is a part of us. This is the essence of our language. The gift we give to one another when we speak. To be a poet is to know that no one
Tell him to take my bare walls down, my cement abutments, their parties thereof, and claws of cloth.
is alone.
Major funding for Welcome Poets is provided by Fort Atkinson Community Foundation, Peter and Connie Roop, donors to the Focus Fund for the Arts, and Friends of PBS Wisconsin.